I forgot about the list until her second attempt, about 10 years later. Dad showed up halfway through chemistry. That same trapdoor feeling, fight or flight, and that same wordless drive to the hospital. As a teenager, I dealt with it less well. I wore my heart on my sleeve, and the night she came back from hospital, she sat at the kitchen table and said if it wasn't for that ham and pineapple pizza lining her stomach, she'd be dead. And I said, you've had a week's worth of antidepressants, a packet of aspirin, and half a tub of amphetamines. You're probably healthier than I am, and if you want to kill yourself, jump off a bridge. And instead of storm off, I just sat there and started shoveling food in my mouth. I'd spent ages on that meal, and I was furious that she was sitting there wishing she was dead and letting it get cold. There was a moment of absolute deafening silence. And then she started to laugh. It was such a genuine laugh. After a while, I found myself joining in. And eventually, Dad got up and went to his study to listen to records. I couldn't sleep that night, so I started to rearrange my room, keeping the things I wanted to keep and throwing away the ones that I didn't. I started shaking. Do you ever have that? You notice you're shaking and your breath is deeper. And you're surrounded by bin bags full of your shit, and you think, I'm really upset. I must be really upset. Are we? That was a monologue from Every Brilliant Thing by Duncan Macmillan, an incredible contemporary playwright. Oh my goodness. These are plays one. I have read all of them, minus 2071, which I've read some of, but I really need to get on it. He writes some really interesting stuff about climate change and global warming. That's what Lungs in 2071 are about. Every Brilliant Thing, and then People's Places Things, which everybody loves. That's about addiction. I don't know why I'm explaining his plays, he's just so good. So the monologue I just did was from Every Brilliant Thing, which is I think it's actually a one actor show. So yeah, it's like Narrator, and they narrate everything, and then they get members of the audience to come and be other characters or representative of other characters and things like that, and they guide through it, so it's very much like an immersive experience. I think it's brilliant. It's so poetic. I love the listing in it because it's a list of every brilliant thing. That's what it is. The character of the narrator is recounting his experience or her experience from one of his mother's suicide attempts. And how it affects them, and going throughout their life, and they create this list as a kid to try and cheer up their severely depressed mother, and it's just so pure, and yeah, definitely give it a read. If you can give it a watch, give it a watch. Really good monologue wise, because it's completely the narrator. It's like one character throughout the whole thing. It's kind of hard to put characterization to, but I guess that's like up to you. I took it in a very naturalistic way, but there is definitely a sense in which you can do whatever you want. It's like complete freedom. you could do it with a puppet, you know? This is what I look like. I'm 5'3" and I live in just north of London. And my profile. Thanks a bunch. Ah, thanks.